What it do, ladies and gentlemen? Today we're about to talk about whelping litters. I do know a little bit about that subject. Someone suggested in the comments, thank you, sir. If any of you guys have topics that you want to talk about, me to talk about, go ahead and put them in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that bell notification and that like. We stay uploading videos on the daily. Just got done cleaning kennels. I gotta feed and water them. Everybody's doing great. The cold is over here in Kentucky. We're not getting too much more, at least for this month. February and March is usually the coldest time of year in Kentucky. It all differs where you're at. So yeah, there was a couple more subjects that people wanted me to talk about, which were great subjects. So I'm gonna keep saying, put them in the comments, because I forget. There was one of them I wanted to talk about. I need to write them down. I'm gonna start making, now that I got my laptop back, I'm gonna go ahead and start making live videos so I can answer questions on the spot. I'm gonna try to do that once a week. But today's subject is whelping litters. First and foremost, with these dogs, I highly suggest C-sections. The reason why, I have known multiple people who have lost all litters, half the litter, all but one pup that survived, because in this breed, they're small, they're compact, they're muscular, they have large heads, large shoulders when they're born, and they can get stuck. So call around. Because here in Kentucky, I've got quotes. I'm not even joking. I've got quotes up to $3 grand for one C-section. I pay on average $600, $800, depending if it's an emergency or not, so that you're prepared and you don't lose your hard work in a day. And yeah, I haven't. Sometimes the females do come into heat. Go into labor before your scheduled date. That's why I suggest you start counting the day after you AI, or you start on the last day of breeding. I highly suggest you go to your vet so you can get progesterone tests, so that you know exactly when your bitch takes, because you don't want to be caught off surprise by her coming a week before your C-section, and now you have to just roll with it. You know, I highly do not recommend that. Mess around and lose all your work. For me, in this bully breeding, I had to wait almost a year and a half before I had my first litters drop, my first puppies drop. So if you're just starting and you're doing your first breeding on her second heat, and all of a sudden it's a year and a half later and the puppies are about to be born, and all of a sudden they get stuck and all of them die, and by the time you go to the vet to get the C-section, they're all dead because they done suffocated. Now you have to wait another 3 to 5 months before your female comes back in heat. Then you got to wait another 2 months for them to be born. So I highly suggest, with this breed, C-sections. Okay, so now the puppies are born. We did C-section. You need to put the mother in, lay her down, and put the puppies on her nipples, because she's probably a first-time mother. She doesn't know what's going on. She's high off that medication. She'll probably, and I've seen this happen to people who have similar blood to me, the Champ Lucky Luciano and the Grand Champion Futuristic blood. We had 2 sisters that were related, half-sisters, and I got a lot of lucky blood. My litter, all of them but one survived. One of them died young. I had a litter of, I believe, 7 or 8. He had a bigger litter, and he lost over half the litter. He went to Walmart to go get some puppy food, came back, and she done tore heads apart, ribs apart, ears, tails. They're not in their right mind all the time, especially if they're first-time mother. And even then, I've done C-sections on the second time, and the mother take a little bit time to warm back up to the puppies. It wasn't as long as the first time, because first time she doesn't know what's going on. All of a sudden these puppies crying all over the floor. She doesn't know what they are. She wants to shut them up. She'll lay on them, sit on them, bite them, eat them, kill them. So you done spent, who knows, $2 grand, $1 grand, $1,500, $500 on a stud. You don't want to lose them. So I highly suggest you sit your butt down and lay her down, see how she acts. Jupiter was a phenomenal mother. Jupiter fed her babies, cleaned her babies every time. I was blessed with that. But then I've had some that weren't as good. Persia didn't kill any, but she barked and was growling her teeth when I tried to present our puppies to her. So I laid her down, I put them on the nipples, and once they started eating, I'd pick them up, wipe their butts on her face so that she would lick them and clean them. And once I seen she was good, I gave her a little bit of trust. But me, what I do, when they're first born, you need to get them drinking that milk within the first couple, I would say, to be safe, as soon as you get home, put them puppies on the milk, because the first day or so, the milk that's coming out the puppies, the mother, is significant, and it has a whole lot of, I forgot what the name of, molotrism. I can't remember what it is, but what it does is it gives them a crazy boost, a crazy nutrients that helps them fight infections and diseases, and just be able to survive and be stronger. So do that, and she usually will go into mommy mode then. If not, what I would suggest is every 2 to 3 hours you take her out, put her back in so that the babies can eat. If this is the case, you need to go ahead and wipe the puppies down every hour, and because they can't pee or poop on their own, so you're gonna have to get a cotton ball, get some warm water on it, rub it on them until they're done peeing and pooping. It's a hard process, but if you're spending thousands of dollars to get where you're at, I highly suggest that's what you do until you know your dog's behavior and how they do. Like I said, Jupiter was a smooth sailor. She was a great mother. No issues with her. I had other dogs. They would sit on their puppies. Roxy killed some of her puppies. She sat on them after the C-section because sometimes they're not in their right mind. That was my fault, my slip-up. I should have knew better. I just got comfortable. I put her in one day and kind of did some stuff, and I kid you not, within 30 minutes, because I came back to check, it was dead. I tried to revive that puppy for about 2 hours and couldn't bring it back. As far as whelping, it depends what kind of whelping litter you have. I like the little kiddie pools, and I'll put little gates around it so she can't get out. And I put pine shavings in around a week and a half. Before that, I usually don't put nothing down, but I have put newspaper down, pee pads, stuff to absorb the, or I will put a little bit of pine shaving scattered out just so that it can absorb the pee and poop. But for the most part, the mother will eat it up. She'll lick it up because, sounds nasty, but that's what they do. What else? Around 4 weeks old, I start feeding them soft dog food, and I start taking the mother out every day for 6 hours. By week 5, I'm giving them soft mixed with hard dog food, and I leave the mom out all day, and I only put her in at night. That way, when the puppies leave, they're not crying all night, crying all the time because they miss their mother or their siblings. Well, they may cry a little bit because they may miss their siblings, but it's definitely not like ripping them away from their mother at 6 weeks. Oh my goodness, I've done that when I didn't know what I was doing, and dude, they're gonna keep you up at night. They're gonna howl. They're gonna whine nonstop for hours. So your spouse is probably gonna shoot you. So that's a little key thing that's very important. You can worm them at 2 weeks. I highly suggest getting Panicer from your vet. You can't get that wormer over the counter. You worm them at 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. Depending on whatever method you want to use. I know people that you do 2, 3, 6 and 8. You can talk to your vet and figure out what kind of worming you should do. The wormer, I buy it in a big jug. It runs me about $150, and it's a huge bottle. I mean, the bottle's as big as these buckets, because I buy in bulk, because since I have so many dogs, which I wormed them yesterday, and I'm gonna worm some of them more today. The puppies, like these little guys, I'm worming them again back to back, and the little puppies in there, I'm worm her and her too, just because they were close to each other. She's not doing any of the coughing anymore, but they're in there. So I'm gonna hit those up with the wormer. Let me think, what else? I highly suggest before the puppies drop, you go to your nearest feed store and pick up a bottle of pick up a thing of dry milk, powdered milk, puppy milk, goat's milk, because sometimes certain puppies don't eat the same, or they're smaller, so they get pushed around and don't eat as much as the other ones do, because you'll see the big ones will push the little ones out the way. So another thing, every hour, 2 hours, you want to always, if you're walking by, get the little one and put the little one on the best nipple, and just keep doing that to help. But also, you can also help supplement the bigger ones every now and then with some goat's milk, so they won't drink as much as the other milk. You got to be very careful with that. You don't want to, shove the milk in them by squeezing the bottle, by, making them die. What else? Was something else I wanted to say. So yeah, be very careful. Every 3 hours, put the mom in if that's the route you're gonna do. I sleep right next to them when they're newborns. I at least stay with them till about a week and a half, 2 weeks, depending on how the puppies are doing and the mother's doing. If it's a bad mother, then I'll probably do the whole 2 weeks. If it's a new mother, the whole 2 weeks. By about 12 to 14 days, they open up their eyes. By around 3 weeks, they start to get teeth. What else? Trying to think of any other things I do. Oh, you also want to have that powder milk just in case. It's never happened to me, but it does happen. Mothers do not produce milk. So if all of a sudden your mother doesn't produce milk, you need to most likely go to your vet and let them know, so that they can hurry up. It's probably going to run you around $100. They do something with the blood and the milk, and it makes the colostrum, or whatever it's called. They'll make it for you, and you'll have to give it to the puppies. Within 1 day once they're born. So you need to know ASAP if she's producing milk or not. They can still survive if you don't do that, but again, if they don't have milk, you're gonna have to bottle feed them. And I'm telling you right now, if you bottle feed 9 dogs, good luck. You better not have a full-time job where you can't do this 24/7, because them puppies will drop like flies if you're not giving them milk every 2 to 3 hours when they're newborn. I'm sorry. You go ahead and leave them for 8 hours, 10 hours a day, and see if they're still alive. Good luck with that. So that's another thing too. You got to realize, if you're breeding, it's very hard. I'm very blessed, because it is a full-time job if you want to do it properly, and you want to have a success rate of being able to actually produce and sell dogs. A lot of people's like, man, what's the breeding? It's nothing. There's a lot to it. You have to have business mindset. You have to have some business skills. You have to have the product. You have to have good product that people are interested in buying. You have to have the time, the work ethic, to get out here and put it in every day, because there's no breaks. It's work and more work. What else? I'm thinking I hit all the subjects when it comes to whelping. I can't think of anything else, I'm trying to think. I definitely appreciate y'all making it this far. In the comments, if you done made it this far, put a name that I should call her. I haven't named her. Yeah, she doesn't have a name yet, so I'm not too sure. I'm gonna breed her to a Lux son in Chicago, which is a chocolate tri. That's who she's going to. She is 2X Lucky Luciano. That Lux is a 1X Louis V, and 1X Champion Lucky Luciano. So it'll be a line breeding. I'm breeding 2 bloodline. Well, they're all related through Dax, but they'll also. Oh, and what's that? The male. Man, the male is I like the male. He's a chocolate stud. He's the grandmother of or he's the mother of Lux. Oh man, no, I'm sorry. He's the grandmother of Lux. Is it Capone? No, I can't remember his name. He's solid though, so I like him. So yeah, it should be going down towards the end of this year, that breeding. I'll be driving to Chicago to do the breeding, but yeah, go ahead and in the comments below, write down any topics you would like me to talk about. Greco Booty Camp signing off, baby. You know what we do.